Well, hey everybody, today we're going to look at a budget studio light from a company called GVM, Great Video Makers. And that's coming right up. So the light that we're looking at today is from GVM. It is their 100 watt bi-color LED light. Now the LED is a COB style, which is a chip on board style LED. It does have a Bowens mount. It comes with a reflector dish. It comes with a diffusion dome, which is very nice, which is what I'm using right now. The knobs on the back of the screen, they are stepless, so there's a nice smooth movement with it. Its color temperature range is anywhere from 3200 all the way up to 5600 Kelvin. It has a CR value of 97 plus. And it also has a TLCI value of 97 plus, so it's very accurate in its color brightness. And speaking of brightness, it'll go anywhere from 10% all the way up to 100% in brightness, which is easily controlled from the back, or you can control it with the app. You can adjust the brightness. So I'm going to turn this down to about, let's say about 50%. So that's at 50% right now, just to give you a little rough idea of how accurate that his lighting is. So right now I'm shooting with the Canon M50, and I do have the app actually connected right now to the light dome. It's about 45 degrees, approximately about 6-7 feet away from me. Just to give you a little rough idea, it does have a little bit of a bounce coming off the ceiling and off the back wall. So let's just get into the app and turn up the brightness. Now, something to keep in mind, there is a built-in fan on this 100W from GVM. And the built-in fan obviously will incrementally go up in volume with you going up in brightness. So right now I've got my deity S Mic 2 that's right up above me, and it's recording into my Zoom H6 just so we can get a little hearing of what that this sounds like. So first off, the fan is very low right now, but I'm going to be quiet so you can hear the fan. And now I'm going to crank it up. Right now it's at 52%. And we're going to bring that up to 100% brightness and listen to the fan. Can you hear it? Now we can also change the K value. Right now it's at 5600. And I'm going to turn it down to 3200 Kelvin, just so we can see how that looks visually. I'm going to crank it back up to 5600, and I'm just looking at the screen, try to get it right about there for brightness. And that looks just about right. Now, the nice thing about this GVM kit is that it comes not just with the bag. It doesn't come with just the light element itself. It also comes with a stand. It also comes with the diffuser dome, and it comes with a reflector dish. Now, all of these come in handy, and it's a nice little package that GVM has done with this, and it's kind of for those budget-minded people out there. So if you have a studio at home and you're trying to get some better lighting in your home studio or at your office studio, whatever the case may be, this is a practical solution for you to actually get some better lighting. And yes, there are companies out there like Aperture, and nothing against Aperture. I think Aperture makes fantastic lights, but for those that are on a budget, like this guy, the GVM kind of fits that little need that you have. And I think that overall the build quality is pretty good on this. Just wanted to give you a little idea of actually how this light looks. And we'll get the lighting up to about 71%. As long as your microphone is far enough away from the light, the fan noise is not atrocious. I mean, I've actually heard lights with much louder fans. But this one, it does have a little bit of volume to it. So kind of keep that in mind, especially if you're going to crank it up to 100%. And I went the wrong way. It actually went completely off. So that's it completely off. That's at 23%, 32%. Barely hear the fan. 40%, 50%. I'm actually starting to hear the fan now. 60%, hearing a little bit more. 74%, and once again 100%. So it does get pretty bright, and I'm actually going to put the camera up to the LED just so you can actually see how bright that this thing gets, because it gets enormously bright. But one thing that I want you to keep in mind of, the build quality of the lamp itself is fantastic. I love the fact that it's got a Bowens mount on it. I mean, that's very nice, because if you have yourself your own style of light diffuser or a light reflector that you already have from a different kit, maybe from Aperture or whatever, you can actually use it with this, because Bowens is kind of interchangeable between light to light to light. So I love the fact that it has that. The stand, I've seen worse stands before, and I've seen better stands before. This one here, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give this light stand, I'm going to give it a solid 6 to 7. It's not that bad. One of the weakest points of this light is the attachment mechanism. So right where it goes over. Now, I didn't have any problem with it breaking or cracking when I cinch it down, but I do worry about if you tilt it at precarious angles and you've got that weight sitting on it from that soft dome, that it may present a problem in the future when you're tightening it down, that there may develop a little crack. Other than that, I like the ratcheting system so that you can adjust the tilt on the light. So that's very nice as well. You know, everybody talks about audio, and then you've got people like Tommy Calloway, nice guy. I'll put a link to his channel right below so that you can check it out. This guy's all about lights. If you look him up on Twitter, one thing he always says, buy lights. Buy lights, buy lights, buy lights, buy lights. He is all about light. And yes, lighting does make a dramatic effect on how your video presentation actually looks. So when you're thinking about a light for your studio setup, I think that this GVM 100W could possibly fit your needs. So like I said, all in all, not a very bad light. And considering the price, especially if you're on a budget, this is something that actually may come in handy. And I really like the fact that it does have a remote control so that you don't have to get up and get down. You know, I've had this light now for about 3 months and I've been using it, and it actually comes in very handy. I wanted to take my time with light reviews, because when it comes to lights, longevity is going to be one of the big things, especially with these LED lights that are COB. Sometimes you can have problems with them where the LED actually starts to go out. You'll have 1 or 2 that actually go out on it. And I wanted to be able to really see how that this works. My only difficulty that I had with this light was the fact that its connection to the app. My first time connecting it, I probably tried about 15 times over 5 days trying to get the app to actually connect with the light. And then one day it just connected and it worked just fine, and it's been, knock on wood, working just fine with the connection ever since. But the light itself was built out of metal. It's built like a tank, actually. The light fixture itself. So it works very well. I think that it will fit your needs if it's something that you're thinking about when it comes to stepping up your lights. If you don't want to use any household lights or incandescent lights, or if you're using some LED lights, or like maybe an LED light panel that you bought and you want to get a little bit better lighting, this may actually be an answer for you. So as always, I'm going to put product links in the description below to the GVM 100W 100 watt bicolor LED light. Check it out for yourself, see if you like it. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give this one a solid 6.5 to 7. I think it's a very good light, especially for those on a budget. Like I said, product links in the description below, and I will catch you on the next review. Bye-bye. Or maybe for a little bit of outdoor use. No, we're not. Oh, Andre, you are just flubbing like crazy today.